Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, good morning. Welcome to another market open stream. The market is about to open in about 30 seconds. And things are looking better. But I am eyeing something, and that is the DXY and how it's inching higher, possibly to a peak. And what does that mean? Well, usually it leads to good things. So, let's discuss what else is going on the world of crypto and U.S. markets. And there we go. That is 8:30. It's time to ring the bell. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You get notified of all my streams, 3 per day. Plus, follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com. And follow me on my brand new CryptosRUs Clips channel. Welcome, 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 guys. Good morning. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Bitcoin is doing better than last night. We are 39,000. I had to pull it all together last night to get you guys motivated and focused and not discouraged about the recent price action. And we are seeing a little bit of a recovery today. So that is good. But I have something to, of course, show you guys that is very, very encouraging. Let's see here. U.S. markets opening up in the green today. Yes, yesterday was a massive, brutal sell-off, okay? NASDAQ was down 400 points, I think, down close to 900. Today, Wall Street is seeing a little bit of a relief, mostly led by one company, I would say. And that is Microsoft. Microsoft beat top line, bottom line. Revenue came in higher. Profits came higher. Microsoft is unstoppable. This is why I've always said, just stick with Microsoft. I like Microsoft more than even Apple and Google. And Google, unfortunately, Alphabet, reported weak earnings. So you know how Netflix had weak earnings because of less subscribers. Alphabet also supposedly, their revenue for YouTube actually were weak, which is surprising because it was very high during the pandemic and now it's starting to come down. I guess that's not surprising, but it did affect their bottom line. So Alphabet actually missed both top and bottom line, mostly because of YouTube. So it does show you the entertainment industry is very fierce. It even affects the likes of Google. All right. And what else is there? I did see this. This is interesting. If Elon somehow can't secure the $44 billion that they promised to buy Twitter, he will owe Twitter $1 billion. However, if Twitter finds another bidder that will pay more, then they will pay Elon $1 billion. It's kind of interesting. And $1 billion in the scheme of this 44 billion really means not a whole lot, but a billion is still a billion, right? It is still a billion. All right, Bitcoin's going up a little bit more today. We're having that George effect this morning, so that is good, pretty good. But what I wanted to show you guys is this. A lot of people have been looking at this, and I've started looking at this, and that is the DXY. The DXY is inching higher and higher and higher and higher. In fact, it is at the same point, the peak point back in March of 2020, the Black Swan event that we had, where Bitcoin dropped to 3,800, NASDAQ and everything dropped, and you could see we are at that same point. And you go back a little further, this is 2017, December of, no, actually, sorry, goes back to December 2016. Okay, why this is important? Because December 2016, going into 2017, going all the way here, right? That marked one of the biggest bull runs we have ever seen for Bitcoin. And from here, March of 2020 going down, mark probably the second largest Bitcoin bull run we have ever seen. Right, so you can see how there's a correlation there, and I have this graph to show you guys. So this kind of puts things into perspective, okay? Last time in 2017, Bitcoin went up 2,500%. And then in 2020, Bitcoin went up 1,400%. So you could see massive returns after the DXY peaks and comes back down. And that is what it's looking like right now, that it has peaked. If you look at, I don't know, if you can measure DXY with indicators like RSI is extremely overbought. And you know what? If this turns around, if the DXY, which is the US dollar index, it's a dollar pegged to versus all these other foreign currencies and showing the strength of it. But if this starts coming down and this peaks, right, that could spur one of the biggest bull runs that we have seen in history. That's why I've labeled massive bull run ahead, question mark, because this could definitely do it. Now, why does Bitcoin go up when the DXY goes down? Mostly because investors are putting money into other things other than a dollar. Right now, there's a lot of probably foreign currencies, right, being used to buy the dollar because it's stronger than the foreign currencies. But if the dollar starts decreasing against the foreign currencies, well, that money's going to flow elsewhere, either into other foreign currencies or the best digital currency that we have, and arguably the best payment network we have, Bitcoin, right? So that is very, very, very interesting. It's inching higher, and can possibly flip. I mean, just look at some of these indicators. Very, very high. Just waiting for MACD to flip down. That would be a trifecta right there. All right, so that's what I want to lead with. However, it's not just this, okay? We're not just depending on the DXY to flip down for Bitcoin to go up, okay? Yesterday, day before, a lot of others, right? I have, okay, whoever this, okay, he is gone. Whoever that loser is. I'm sorry, I got distracted. But I was saying, besides this, last few days I've been talking about a lot of indicators and basically showing Bitcoin very, very, very strong, right? One of those indicators is that there's still a lot of buyers and buying, right? And take a look at this. Purpose Bitcoin ETF, the biggest Bitcoin ETF in Canada, just added another 1,100 Bitcoins, right? As investors want to buy the dip. So even though it does seem like a lot of people turn bearish, and a lot of people in the chat will turn very bearish, or have turned very bearish, there are still a lot of smart investors, the guys that have been with me for a long time, and others that know that the opportunity to buy is when things are low. You don't buy when things are high, you buy when things are low, and this shows it. And many of the other metrics that show net flow and liquid supply, the hodl people, all going in the right direction, upwards, right? So it's very encouraging to see that these metrics still indicate that there are a lot of people that are not discouraged, and they continue forward because they know that Bitcoin is not going to go anywhere. It's only going to get bigger and stronger, and that's why you want to accumulate as much as you can while it's still low. Yeah, that's really it. Let's see if the markets, U.S. markets, still kind of hovering. NASDAQ up about 1%. Bitcoin is 39.2, so let's see if we can see a little bit more pump during this stream. Now, what else is there? Well, even though Purpose Bitcoin ETF in Canada added, unfortunately, the ones in Australia have not. So it looks like all three ETFs missed launch day, and they're delayed due to checks for some reason. I would have figured the checks would have been done already, but somehow they need more time to check, and it looks like this may be delayed until next week, right? But again, this is very, very big. Australia is a big country / continent, and there's a lot of citizens that want exposure to Bitcoin, a lot of institutions also, so they could be definitely putting in a lot more money into these ETFs, which would in turn buy a lot of Bitcoin, right? So that's good. What else is there? A lot of people were worried about this, and it does look like this is going to pass, but the New York State Assembly passed a ban on new Bitcoin mines that don't use green power, right? So I guess this makes this makes sense, right? We know that Bitcoin consumes a lot of electricity. So what New York is worried about is, siphoning off too much electricity for Bitcoin mining. So they're not banning it. They just want them to use green energy, right? Which I know could be hard in certain locations. But then, that's why you can, there's more, I guess, pro Bitcoin mining states like Texas, right? And what's another one? There was another one that was very pro. I forgot which, but I know Texas is very pro, right? So if you're looking to start a Bitcoin mining farm, then maybe you don't do it in New York. You do it in Texas instead, right? So this is not as bad as people made it out to be. What else is there? Brazil, also very positive, approves Bitcoin law to regulate cryptocurrencies, although this is not making Bitcoin legal tender, but it is the next best thing. Basically, Brazil is recognizing that crypto is here to stay. Let's find a way to regulate it and basically adopt and embrace it, right? So I would say this is pretty good news, right? We had a recent country in Africa embrace Bitcoin as legal tender, so that makes 2 countries, right? But we have dozens of other countries that are simply moving in that direction, but haven't officially made it legal tender, but pretty darn close. Brazil, Venezuela, right? And then I heard Colombia and many African countries as well. So within the next year or two, we could have a dozen or more countries that have made Bitcoin legal tender. Yeah, that's also very positive. See, this is part of the growing fundamentals that I pay attention to, right? I try to ignore the noise. There's a lot of noise. There's always a lot of noise. Whenever the market is bad, there's a lot of noise, a lot of FUD, a lot of people that are trying to spread misery. But these are things I pay attention to. And finally, I did find this new person on Twitter. Seems to be a pretty good chartist. And he's projecting Bitcoin's path to 160,000. I can't say I disagree, but this is using an Elliott wave forecast. And right now, he pinpoints that Bitcoin is in accumulation. Just like the previous times, right, when Bitcoin fell down to their bottoms. Kind of interesting to look at. But this also makes a whole lot of sense when you look at the DXY, right? If the DXY goes down, which it's still going up, when the DXY comes down, that's when a lot of this accumulation goes away, and then boom, you go up. So interesting to look at. But will Bitcoin get to $160,000 by whenever? Yes. Just don't set unrealistic expectations. But Bitcoin tends to surprise people. When it does go on those parabolic runs, no one is prepared for it. No one. Just like in 2020 to 2021, right? Going from 3,800 and ending up at 69,000. Just calculate that. Like, was anyone really expecting that? Not really. So right now, even though we may be stuck at 39, 40,000, this next run up, a lot of people think 100,000, but maybe it doesn't stop there. Maybe it goes up to 160,000. Maybe it goes up to 200,000 before it comes back down. Just don't know. That's why you want to be in the game and have patience. All right. That is pretty much this morning. If you look at CMC, Doge came down quite a lot from the Elon Twitter pump. Several others are starting to turn green. Avalanche a little bit in the green. Solana a little bit in the green. ApeCoin is still pumping up. kind of expected until their metaverse comes out, and most things are still in red. But like I said at the beginning, what are the big money, what are the big money doing, or when are they buying specifically? They buy when things are low, and that's what we should do. All right, guys, let's do some Q&A. Oh, I'm sorry. I was in mute. Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Rise Up, I appreciate that. I was talking about Chainlink. Someone asked about Chainlink before. And I said, yeah, nothing is close to Chainlink in terms of Oracle networks. There's a lot of Oracles out there, but none of them are anywhere close to Chainlink. So, thank you for that. Someone else, the Tiberius, said something about Tim Duncan. Not sure why Tim Duncan was brought up. Did you see OK Bears and Magic Eden? I have no idea what you just said there. That doesn't make any sense to me. Came to Disney World and Universal to distract from the market. Hey, how is Disney these days? Do you stake any coins and where? Yes. I stake a lot in Anchor for UST. I still stake in DeFi Kingdoms. I pretty much I native stake a lot of my tokens. Some within the Trust wallet, some within just, their own wallet. I mean, there's a lot of places to stake. I have a lot in centralized ones too, like in Vauld. And I still have some in BlockFi and Celsius too. But of course, you can't put in more. So I have them spread around all over the place. If you're holding, there's no reason why you shouldn't be like staking or just getting some kind of rewards from it, right? Long-term holders, why not? You just have to be careful of where you're placing your crypto, though. Jishnu, do you think we could really go down less than 30K? Been patient for a year, little worried as collateral as loan. Well, your first mistake is you have a loan. And I've always said don't take a loan to buy crypto. Can it go below 30,000? Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think it's going to happen, but it could certainly happen. It could. I mean, can we have a flash crash down to like 28,000 like what we did in April of 2020 or 2021? Sure, it could happen. And then you'll probably be margin called, which is why you never want to take out a loan in the first place, because if it happens, then you're screwed. But for the rest of us, what we could do is nothing. We could continue to HODL and DCA, right? Learn from your mistake. Try to get out of it. Repay that loan. Don't take the risk. Bigger disappointment this year, KD and the Nets or LeBron and the Lakers? Well, obviously LeBron and Lakers because they didn't even make the playoffs. So, yeah, but still, they're both an embarrassment, I guess. But I still love LeBron way, way, way more than KD. Do you trust staking at PancakeSwap? APY is huge, 200%. No. I mean, it's their way of trying to entice people because honestly, PancakeSwap, the only use case for those tokens is really to just stake in liquidity pools. There are many others that are higher than that. PancakeSwap has been out for years, so they're the biggest on a Binance Smart Chain. Not to say that they can't ever have problems because several other big... Well, I think PancakeSwap too. They've suffered from vulnerabilities and hacks before. So be careful. But they are still the biggest AMM on Binance Smart Chain. Or Binance Chain. I think it's just renamed to Binance Chain. Well, look at Bitcoin. 39.4. Nice. Can we pump back straight back up to 40,000 again today? Do you say weekly or just buy the major dips? It's up to you. It's up to you. However you want to do it. Sometimes there's not a lot of major dips, but DCA weekly, I think, is still more consistent. Do you still use Anchor? Yes. No, I don't buy Anchor. I just buy UST. You use UST and put in the Anchor to stake. You can stake Anchor as well, but Anchor fluctuates, right? The good thing about staking UST is it's a stable coin, so it stays consistent. If you get like Anchor or anything else and you stake it, you could get a higher APY. But if the coin drops, then it's not as good. The DXY is dropping pretty steadily now. I don't know what you're looking at versus what I'm looking at because that does not indicate a drop. Well, I'm in a daily though. Let's see, 15-minute. Yeah, I don't think that's a consistent drop, but it is below 103. But this is quite interesting. Measuring DXY. I mean, DXY in previous years, like going back a decade or so, there were times where it's higher, but the last two times it peaked and went down. Bitcoin had some tremendous gains. So you could see we're at the March 2020 level right now. Why is everyone asking about PancakeSwap all of a sudden? Kenneth, I'm not really interested in PancakeSwap or DEXs, not anymore, because they're just not that interesting. So I don't know where the short-term or long-term price will be. It got upgraded. I know Binance Chain got upgraded, but Cake itself got upgraded, like V3 or something. Let's see. They look exactly like before. So I don't know what actually was updated, but you can earn some pretty good APR with these pools and farms too. Yeah, like Cake and BNB, this pair 38%. BUSD with BNB 12%. It's not bad. I mean, to use it, this is why I say about DEXs. To use it as a utility, it's great. You want to stake? Great. If you want to swap? Great. But do you need the underlying token to do those things? Cake in this case? No, you don't. You actually need BNB. You don't need cake, right? So a lot of these DEXs, they kind of stalled because that's the bottom line. You don't actually need to buy and hold cake. You could use it with, in this case, BNB, right? So I think they're okay. I mean, they're still 2+ billion, but it's just not something that I'm very interested in. I'd rather put my money into L1s, which I think have a lot more price action. They changed the staking to be locked now. Oh, so you have to lock in a certain amount of days. That's not going to change anything. That's been around for a long time. Maybe not on PancakeSwap, but several other projects, and that doesn't really do anything. Other than if you like stake it like Ethereum 2.0, where you simply can't take it out until the next big upgrade, then that'll be a different story. Crypto.com and Chronos, I don't have any more thoughts over it. I mean, Crypto.com, here's the bottom line. They made a tremendous amount of money in 2021, spent a tremendous amount of money to get a whole bunch of attention, bought the Stable Center's naming rights, got Matt Damon, started doing advertising campaigns everywhere, started their chain, and that was all good, right? Until the market kind of lost traction. And then now you don't hear much about them. They're kind of hovering around in top 20, not really moving, right? But here's the thing. Like all exchanges, what happens? They're making money no matter what, right? All the trades and stuff, they're going to make money. But when the market comes back and you got that massive FOMO, right? Again, all the exchanges, they're going to get very, very, very hot. And someone like Crypto.com will benefit from it, right? So I think they're going to be fine. You just have to be patient. Kenneth, what about BTCB? I don't even know what BTCB is. When it comes to Bitcoin, just buy Bitcoin. That's it. Anything else doesn't matter. It's all not as good or scams. So WBTC is just wrap Bitcoin. It's a Ethereum. It's a ERC20 pegged to Bitcoin. It's the same essentially as Bitcoin, but not as good as just buying Bitcoin. So just buy Bitcoin. That's really it. One thing I forgot to mention about Crypto.com is they have a lot of, they provide a lot of interest right now, right, for just simply depositing your crypto, which will probably be shut down by SEC because they're so big. I'm pretty sure SEC is looking at them already, along with several others, probably Voyager and Gemini. So that's something to be careful of. Not that they're going to suspend your account or anything, but they'll probably just get rid of their interest-bearing accounts. George, with BTC drained from the exchanges, Terra and Sailor buying, why is Bitcoin still being suppressed? Why do you think? Because there are certain individuals or groups of individuals, they could do it. They have plenty of money, they have plenty of time, and whenever there are bad news out there, they will suppress it and they will bring things down just to liquidate people or so that it can accumulate more. It has always been done and it will continue to be done forever, but the impact is less and less, right? The very fact that we're sitting here at 40,000 versus 10,000 from 2 years ago tells you something. Even though there is manipulation and there is price suppression at times, you can't just suppress the whole thing. It will still continue forward because of all the people that's still buying and buying and buying and buying, right? So temporarily or shorter time frames, we could see that definitely, especially, during bad times. it could be done. But overall, Bitcoin's price is still going up because of the big buying institutions and holders and miners not selling. It's really that simple. Do you think Steve Nash gets fired or Kyrie gets traded? Oh, that's a good question. I don't think they go trade Kyrie, but yeah, I didn't go fire Steve Nash. I don't think they'll trade Kyrie or KD because they're not going to get anyone equivalent back. No team is going to want them, especially Kyrie. So, I'll probably go fire Nash. Piano Maddie, I appreciate that. I do. I try to do what I can. Serious question. If fiat could be manipulated by government, crypto could be manipulated by whales, what's the difference? There's a big difference. And I kind of already explained it. Because even though there's crypto manipulation at times, overall, they don't have enough money to manipulate everything. Okay? That is why crypto is still heading up. That's why the levels we are now are still higher, way higher than, say, 2 years ago, right? So even though there may be slight manipulation on a short time frame to drive people out so that they can accumulate more, overall, it's still going upwards. And it's appreciating faster than fiat and faster than inflation, most importantly. All right. I think that's about it. Overall, today is a much better day than yesterday. Bitcoin is coming up. Markets are coming up a little bit, right? But what's really interesting is that DXY, has it peaked? Has it topped out? Is it going to come down? And if so, will it spur a massive bull run ahead for Bitcoin? Only time will tell. But stay tuned. Tune in, I should say, in 3 hours, and I'll have more to share about Bitcoin and crypto. So make sure you tune in. All right? Take care, guys. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and see you in a couple hours. Take care. Bye-bye.